This is Roll for Crit, and it's time for another news roundup in the world of tabletop gaming for this week of February 19th, 2018.
Previously on the show, we have talked about how Gen Con was thinking of moving its location after its contract expired. Well, it has made an agreement with Indianapolis to stay there until 2022. This is likely because it's been growing very heavily over the last few years. In fact, last year nearly sold out, as well as having 60,000 unique attendants. And it seems to be on track for that this year as well.
Yeah, it's selling on a record pace, even more than last year. Looks like it's well on its way to selling out. So if you're a person who does not have a Gen Con ticket, you probably want to get on that already if you haven't. But yeah, it's pretty exciting, and I guess they're sticking to Indianapolis. It's been working for them. Mike Pence is out of there, so that's no longer a concern for them, apparently. But we'll see. It's 2022. It is a renewal, but only for a few years, so things could still change in the relative near future.
Well, I think we did talk about this on the show as well, but I think the big thing that they should focus on, not as much as changing cities, because there is a lot of hotels there, but it is hard to get a room. But maybe making, like PAX has PAX East, PAX West, that kind of deal.
It seems like, from the vibes we're getting, they're just not interested in that at this current time, is what I'm seeing. I think maybe their thoughts are like, well, people have PAX Unplugged now and BoardGameGeek Con. They kind of fill those niches. And Gen Con is so big that maybe they're just overwhelmed with doing that. But yeah, I agree. If they were going to do anything, probably what I would want them to do. The 12th annual BoardGameGeek Awards are open for nominations now. You can officially go to BoardGameGeek's website and vote for your favorite board games, role-playing games, podcasts, video games even are on there from the year 2017. So it'll be interesting to see what those golden geeks go to this year. Make your voice heard.
I'm going for tic-tac-toe.
I know it's your favorite.
Stronghold Games is shaking things up by changing its logo and location of its company. The logo, which still holds its iconic castle, will be changing in more of a solid colors, as well as making it easier to reproduce on boxes on different shapes and sizes. In addition, they're moving from Somerset, New Jersey to Boynton Beach, Florida. We can't blame them. We wouldn't want to stay here either.
No, it's snowy right now. I want to go down to Florida. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when Portal recently redid their logo. It seems like they're going for more of a bolder, brighter, kind of friendlier look to it, but it's pretty much the same thing.
It looks more menacing to me, honestly.
It looks more menacing to you?
Yeah, because it's like a red sky now with this black castle.
No, it's got the yellow sun, though, behind it. It's like, it's hopeful and bright. This is a glass half full, classic pessimist-optimist divide right here. What do you think? Does the logo make you feel good or bad? The second edition of Eclipse is still on the way, and we got a little bit of an update in that it is coming to Kickstarter later this year, and we got a look at the new box art, as well as some brief new details about how there's going to be completely reworked artwork and components, as well as they promise faster and more polished gameplay. Specifics are still being held out. We probably won't know about those until the Kickstarter launches, but we did get to see that box art and some of the artwork, and I think it definitely is an improvement. It looks a lot more professional, in my opinion, a little smoother. Some of the character artworks and things in the old game were a little more rough around the edges, but so I think it looks good. The box art is definitely busier. There's more stuff going on it, which I think for some people is maybe a misstep, but I don't know. What did you think about it?
I mean, I felt like the art was almost the same as in the other one. I didn't feel it was too different.
If you look at them back to back,
maybe it is,
trust me.
But it was like, I recognize character. And I believe, I don't know if you said this, but it's coming out in May is when we're going to find out more?
Mm-hmm, that's right. That's when the Kickstarter officially launches.
Honestly, I'm more curious about components I'm always interested in, but it's really the rules.
Yes.
Because I know this is one game that you definitely shudder at whenever it hits the table. So I'm curious.
It's a big, heavy game. They said polished and faster, which are two things that intrigue me quite a bit.
It's actually, they just polish the pieces so they slip out of your hand faster. Like, they weren't actually talking about gameplay.
I mean, that's, in any definition, I'll take it. Take what I can get.
The popular board game Terraforming Mars is getting a digital version with the help of its actual original author. This is hopefully to come out in Q2 of 2018. This will allow not only for single player and multiplayer, it'll allow for local and over the internet co-op opponents, as well as AI. This makes it very flexible on how you play the game, which is definitely an improvement to any kind of digital board game. Though I will say I'm really curious, they said that there are expansions and content to come, but they didn't specify if it just means, you know, the stuff you already have in the physical version, or if they're making unique stuff for the digital version.
There's certainly no shortage of expansions. There was actually another expansion we found out about this week that we'll talk about in our Toy Fair video, also on our channel. So my guess would be they're going to probably adapt that first, because why wouldn't they? There's so much available.
But being on a digital platform does give you that sort of, not leeway, but ability to do something different.
Yeah, the additional content could also be maybe like different modes or like different kinds of chat, voice chat or something like that, that's more to the interface of the game. Yeah, I don't know. But Terraforming Mars seems like, I think it's a good candidate for a digital version. Fun game. The 14th wave of Star Wars X-Wing Ships has been announced for release. This time we got a couple of new expansions coming from the film Rogue One. And the first one is a Saw Gerrera themed pack. You, of course, remember beloved character Saw Gerrera from Rogue One. This one includes actually some new versions of a couple of old ships, the X-Wing T-65 and the U-Wing. But of course, they come with some unique cards and pilots, including Saw Gerrera himself, so they'll be a little bit different. And then the other one is going to be the TIE Reaper. Also first seen in the movie Rogue One. It's sort of a cooler version of a TIE fighter. It has a unique ability in its jamming action that can stop some actions of other nearby ships. So if you're someone who likes Rogue One, or if you're just someone who likes X-Wing and hates Rogue One, you might still want these ships. I don't know.
Were you hoping for another Munchkin game based on an already beloved classic? Well, I have good news for you. IDW and Steve Jackson Games have partnered up to bring a new Kickstarter in the form of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Munchkin. Yes, Kickstarter. This will be released March 7th at 11 a.m. Pacific Coast time. Very specific. It'll have 3 different versions: Standard, Deluxe, and Ultimate Deluxe. The Standard version will be pretty much what you expect from a Munchkin game. The Deluxe version will have a standees in addition to a level up board. And the Ultimate Deluxe is actually going to be based on the original comics that came out over 30 years ago.
Yeah, which is pretty cool because they have that cool, the old style art has a cool look for it that they used for the IDW board game also recently.
In addition, correct me if I'm wrong, but they actually were all the same color headbands in the original comics.
Yeah,
they changed it so people could actually be like, that one's Donatello.
Yeah, children are very, very stupid. they need everyone to wear a matching color to understand what's going on. So that's the adult version. That's the challenge mode. You won't know who's who in that version. Uno is a beloved card game that no one really wants to play anymore, but apparently it's still selling very well, and Mattel has announced a sequel to Uno, appropriately titled Dos. That's right, this game will retain basically the same gameplay as Uno, but in this game you're going to be making 2 piles of cards instead of just one, and you're going to be able to play 2 cards on your turn to the 2 piles. It's doubled because it's Dos. This is going to be available in March from Target exclusively at first, and then it's going to be rolling out later in the year to other stores. The good news is it will only cost $5.99. That's the retail price, which is pretty darn cheap. I mean, it's Uno, but so I guess how much can you really charge for that? And according to Mattel, they do not currently have plans for a Trace. So we're sticking with Dos for now. Not going to go through the whole Spanish number line.
However, I'm pretty sure if you want to try it early, you can get 2 copies of Uno to get Dos.
What, is that a reference to something? I don't know what that was.
No, that's just a stupid little hand trick.
Oh, okay, cool. You're like a magician. You know what? I'd pay $5.99 for that over Dos.
That's our news roundup for the week of February 19th, 2018. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave some comments down below.
Yeah.